Welcome to Enviro Talk, another episode. And today you're going to be hearing from some of the leaders in the vapor intrusion market. If you're not familiar with the vapor intrusion market, you'll learn something more about that today. But the vapor intrusion market and the impact of the coronavirus. But let me tell you a little bit more about myself. My name is Travis Bowman. I'm the president of EnviroWorkshops. We train environmental professionals around the globe. We've actually seen 20,000 environmental professionals register for our workshop on 6 continents, 20 different countries. And it's been extraordinary to see how many of the environmental professionals globally have come out to learn more about technologies in the industry. And really, we're doing training when it comes to cleaning up contaminated soil, groundwater, and air. And today, the vapor intrusion market, which you'll learn some more about, that's another thing that we're actually doing training on, really when it comes to here across North America. But vapor intrusion is a hot topic around the globe, and so we'll be diving into that a little bit more. So check out our website, EnviroWorkshops.com. You can see a little bit more about our training that we do worldwide, but then also here in Charlotte, North Carolina, we'll actually be hosting the first Global Environmental Summit. And it'll be September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Pollution truly is a global issue. And I mean, today we're of course talking about the coronavirus and the impact it's had, but it's a pandemic that we're all dealing with. And the reality is pollution, no matter where you are in the world, you're dealing with it at some level. When we've done our workshops in China, I'll never forget seeing underneath of in my hotel, underneath of the spigot, had a little sign that said, boil the water, don't drink the water. And that's in China. I mean, of course, you know, if you go to travel to Mexico, they say, don't drink the water at all. And so the reality is pollution affects all of us. And so that's what the environmental industry is really all about. Today, we have got 2 guests, John Ballinger and Tom Hatton from Clean Vapors. Tom is actually the president of Clean Vapors. And so when it comes to vapor technologies, this is their world and this is what they do and do it extremely well. So welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you very much, Travis. Thanks for inviting us on, and we're looking forward to having a good few-minute visit here.
Yeah, well, so Tom, tell us, I mean, you were really there at the very beginning of the vapor intrusion market. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Sure. Clean Vapor, I was there right at the very beginning in 1985 on EPA's very first vapor intrusion site. I was a technical consultant, and I was in the early stages of turning the paradigm. Before that, people thought vapor intrusion was a function of concentration gradient transfer, where it went from a high concentration below the slab and then a low concentration or a lower concentration in the building. And I was able to put together a formula that demonstrated that that's not really what's going on. There's other driving factors. And from there, I participated in the first radon research programs and went early on in the 80s and put together a company. And since that time, we've mitigated nearly 11,000 properties and worked in 40-some states. We've worked over in Spain and also done extensive work in Alaska, where we pioneered some of the first solutions to depressurizing soils where buildings are impacted by permafrost. So we've been all over, we've seen a lot, but this Corona thing is a new twist for all of us.
That's a really good way of saying it, a new twist for all of us. Yeah, talk to me about some of maybe the changes that you all have had to put in place for just simply, an SOP or things like that.
Well, John works a lot with employees, policies, our clients. So I'm going to let him answer that question, and he can bring you up to speed with what we've been doing to integrate with our clients and safeguard our employees at the same time.
Thanks, Tom. Travis, thanks for allowing us to be on. I would say that a statement that will resonate throughout the industry is that the most underrated department in a company is now looked at as the most important, and that's the human resources side of the industry, because the policies, procedures, the notices that need to come out to the employees, the work from home process. There's been a huge issue with cyber and data breach, because you saw, or you may have seen in the paper, where that's a big concern of employers now that employees are home working. Is my data safe? Are my employees safe? Is the information that they are transmitting back and forth, is it done in a safe environment? So cyber, data breach, EPLI, employee practices liability. So are we complying with all the rules and regulations on how we comply with rules and regs from the CDC, the Department of Labor, and various alphabet soups? So it's really made human resources the new buzzword that everybody kind of put behind the shelf.
Right. What have you had to do anything when it comes to just getting some of your projects done? Put any of those changes or of operations in place?
Well, we know that just for example, we've got projects going on outside of New Jersey, and first of all, we had to deem whether we're essential or not, right. Because there have been a lot of catchphrases, shelter in place, essential business, that have come out from the coronavirus. And so we had to deem ourselves essential based on the regulations. Then we had to give our employees a letter that deems them essential to be able to transport themselves from project to project. Then when we get on site, I was down in Georgia recently to kick off a project, and we had to have a safety walk through where we were 6 feet apart. There were no more than 10 people. I mean, so all the criteria we're following to ensure that our employees are safe, and then the projects are safely managed as well.
Good. So you're able to still accomplish the needs of your clients in the midst of this crisis and pandemic. You're still, just putting different procedures in place, but still get out there on site and get the work done.
Yes, we are, and we're conscious of the safety aspect of our employees because they are our priority. Clients come second, and we want our employees to be safe on the project site that they're on. So we know that there's going to be a lot of new normals that come out of this, Travis.
Right. Have you seen any changes in regulations across? I know you all work all across the U.S. and anything that's different and from a state level that has postponed a project or something like that.
Yes, we're actually dealing with what they would deem as hotbeds of the coronavirus, and so they don't want they being the states don't want cross-pollination between states. So we're having to be very conscious. If an employee was in this state and then going to this project, do they have to quarantine for 14 days before they go into it? So there's a lot of moving parts that we have to keep up with the new coronavirus standards and regulations, and it's changing daily sometimes. They're it used to be 50, and then it went to 20, and then it went to 10, and there's some states are saying 5, more than 5 people. Right. So it's a constant awareness of what's going on around us.
Tom, have you ever seen anything like this?
I've never seen anything like this. I think before this kicked off, we were poised to do more work than we've ever done before. We've had more employees trained, mobilized, and ready to go. And we've gotten some stand down orders from clients. And we've also had a flip side where we've had clients call us and say, hey, our factory is completely empty. Can you come in here and get this work done now? So,
wow.
And then we've said, no, we can't stay in a hotel in your city. So right. It's just been a complication of things, and it changes every day. We have employees in 5 states and projects going on in twice as many. So right now we're trying to accommodate, we're trying to be safe, and we're just reinforcing safe hygiene and work practices amongst our employees, where we're making sure that they're leaving here with a whole truckload of cased bottled water. So nobody's drinking anything that is not coming out of that, and you're putting their initials on the cap or whatever. So we're not getting those things, and we're being very cautious about vitamins. People not just washing their hands, but we are buying hand lotions and sending them out with our guys because we want them to recoat so it doesn't penetrate. And we're wearing gloves and just being conscious of how we open doors. We've even had a theft of cases of masks that we
Really?
Yeah.
So
So
they just stole from you guys?
yeah, I mean, you wouldn't believe it, but apparently the paranoia is that high that
Goodness.
that thievery is now okay. So
Wow.
fortunately, we had others in reserve from stuff that we haven't touched in a while. And we're like, okay, guys, we have this many more, but do not be careless because we don't know when we can replenish.
Yeah.
So we're just being safe, and we're glad that we carry these products on the shelf. And sometimes I look and go, I really don't like all that inventory sitting on the shelf, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad we have it right now.
Right. Yep. Well, guys, I tell you, this is some crazy times we live in. I appreciate you all taking the time to come on the program and just talk a little bit more about in the midst of a pandemic, what are you all doing to meet the needs of the customers and really kind of change things up. So I appreciate you all.
We appreciate every bit of it, Travis. And the thing I like about your program is we want to offer encouragement and hope to people. And, you know, as a culture, we will get through this, and we need to look out for our families, our employees, and treat our employees like they're our families. And that's really what we're trying to do at Clean Vapor, and look out to people in that level of care. So thank you for having us on.
That's so well said. Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I'll see you at the next workshop.
Yeah, bye.
All right. Bye-bye.